Yo, 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 you know what it is, man. FGE Hip Hop News, man. Shout out Mick Groovy. We got my boy Oldmann with us today, man.
Most definitely.
You heard me? This a special interview right here, you know.
Yeah.
Because this is, you know.
Yeah, my name Old Man Josh for people that, that don't know, you know what I mean? But everybody in the projects know Old Man, you know what I mean? I just did 10 years in the can, just came home, fought the motherfucking judge, the prosecutor, kept it all the way solid, kept it all the way trill, but that ain't even that. I became a grown man, you know what I mean? Got myself together, free all bro and them, you know what I'm saying, from the hood and all of that, and everybody upstate from level 5, level 2, level 1, still trying to make it home, all the solid ones, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Stay up, face up, you know what I mean? Everything, keep God first.
God first, you hear me?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just wanted to ask you, man, like, damn, when did y'all, move in the projects? Like,
We moved into new houses first in like 92, 93, you know what I'm saying, after we came back from Memphis. We stayed, a lot of people don't know this.
so y'all stayed in Memphis?
Yeah, most definitely.
What that was about?
Well, I can't remember all like that. I went to, I think I was in preschool in Memphis, and, my little sister died. We got a little sister that passed away in Memphis. And when we buried her, we came back to St. Louis. Yeah, most definitely. And then we moved soon we came to St. Louis, we stayed with my grandma for a little while. Then we moved to the east side. Then my mama didn't like that, so we moved to the new houses, like in 92, you know what I mean, from 99, y'all.
So how you think that impacted y'all life?
Well, you know what I'm saying, it impacted me and my little brother's life like a mud because I'm the oldest brother, and my other siblings and everything, because, you know what I'm saying, we was introduced to Kingdom House, Twerking Pork, all the Christmas fundraisers and the Thanksgiving fundraisers, and just project for, you know what I mean, everything, you know what I mean, from like, we got the 1600s, we had the 1500, the B2 buildings. Our generation got the last of that, even the Webbies and all of that, you know what I mean, from Shoto to the original Peabodys to S&S, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, most definitely. And we saw all of that coming up, and we grew up kind of like athletic.
Hey, when you talk about S&S, man, a lot of people don't remember S&S.
Nah.
I remember going in there, man. They used to sell a big bottle of marbles and shit. You could go get like 100 marbles for $1.
Yeah.
You know, this when we used to be out in the dirt for real.
I remember we used to shoot marbles. You heard me? But my fingers was too big to shoot them mugs, so I used to shoot bogeys.
Right.
Fingers was too big to shoot stillies and stuff, so I used to shoot bogeys, you know what I mean? People used to get mad at me for shooting bogeys a lot. Yeah, but you know what I mean? It had 1 back, 2 back, 3 back, 4 back. If you from the projects, you'll remember that, if you're a real project head, Yeah.
Damn, so who you used to shoot marbles against?
Well, you know what I'm saying? When we moved to the Peabodys and everything, we moved to the Peabodys like in 99 from 2000. Our house got caught on fire. You know what I'm saying? Our house got caught on fire in the new houses. Then we stayed in the shelter right there by the village, the Court Square Village for like 2 weeks. Then we moved to the Peabodys. We was already accepted in the Peabodys name because we already knew everybody from the Peabodys, from the Hunters, and everybody just migrated to the Peabodys, you know what I'm saying, out of, you know what I'm saying, from 97 to 99, probably 96 if I can't remember. But when we moved to the Peabodys, we was already welcome because a lot of people knocked on our door as soon as we moved in. And then after that, you know what I'm saying, it just became home. We didn't have to, you know what I'm saying, had the best clothes and none of this and none of that. It just felt home because we already knew. Oh, well, it was structure. It was structure. We knew what was going on, but we still kids living. So, you know what I mean, dudes I was coming with, before the Rec Squad days, it was like chilling with my brother, Lil Benny, Bingo, a.k.a. Brian, Skinny Brian, Fat Brian, Bam, we gonna name all the original, Tyrone Chapman, you know what I'm saying, everybody, you know what I mean, that like out of our generation, you know what I mean, the ones that I forget about, you know what I mean, don't take it as personal, but y'all know who y'all is, Lil Arnold, the Dirty, you know what I'm saying, Gutter, Lil Johnny, that was my childhood friend, that was the first like watch singer, a.k.a. / Lionel Moore Chapman, whatever you want to call it. That was my childhood friend. That's the first one I met. that's he was really the reason why I could come up in the 1600s. So shot up gutter, and he was my celly too for a lot of times in that hole and two house. So you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. You know, throw that flag up, swipe that door. You know how you taught me and everything. You know what I mean. Throw that curtain up. So yeah, that's some joint shit. If motherfuckers don't know, but that's some real shit. You know what I mean. We go from Kenny Gordon all the way to the joint, you know what I mean?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
and shout out to your brother too, cause that was
Shout
my
out,
nigga
man.
too,
Shout
you know what I
out.
mean? Cause
So,
that was my nigga, you
so
heard?
look, we're gonna get there, you hear me?
Alright,
So look, check me out.
yeah.
So when did life start changing for you? When you started feeling like, all right, I'm changing?
I started
When
changing.
you realize like, all right, man, it's time to, put my big boy shoes on.
Well, I went to the joint, you know what I mean? Because before I went to the joint, I was out here. All you dudes that know about dams, you know what I'm saying, crunching down dams, you know, we was like the second generation that opened it up. Like, if you know me from slanging dams, you know what I'm saying, 545 trays, 10 slashes, and RP Moo Moo, RP Dirty, my sister, Noah, you know what I'm saying, everybody, you know what I'm saying, that really meant something to me and means something to everybody else, you know what I mean. I can't remember all the name. Tiger, you know what I'm saying, I was hurt when he died and shit in 2000. I was in a joint, you know what I'm saying, so you know what I mean, everybody, you know what I mean, shout out to all my dudes, Scipio, you know what I'm saying, he held me down there at joint, so you know what I'm saying, I can't forget about those names, Dantes, you know what I'm saying, that's Dirty Brother, I love all y'all Project boys, you know what I'm saying, Project Young Man and all of that, you know what I mean,
Right,
but
you know them
anybody
boys
that know me,
grown now,
Raybo, you know what I'm saying, you know, me and him used to be going heads up with the dams and stuff. We seen how many time, you know what I mean, how much time we get, who can get high the most and who had the best scripts. So, you know, MP too, but especially Raybo. But, you know, me from having the dams, you know, my partner from the Grape taught me how to slang dams. So my sister ex-boyfriend taught me how to slang dams. And I was one of the best ones that probably ever did it. So that's where I really was kind of like known for, from having all them pills and stuff and getting grip, you know what I'm saying? But I had to change my life because that stuff brought me to a negative end, you know what I'm saying?
So since we right there,
Yeah.
I want to ask you this question. What's something we went through? What's something you went through as a kid? You know what I mean? That you never spoke about and like told others.
Well,
Like a demon that you fought.
Well, my demon, what I fought was really like a father figure in the household, because when I was 12 years old, I had to become my old dude left, even though he wasn't always there. I forgive him. I'm a man now.
Right.
But he wasn't there fully like I wanted him to be.
Right.
So that was my thing, is having a man in the household to mold us and teach us, because I had a little brother, you feel me? And you know what I mean, since that, when he left, and then I had a niece and a nephew too, so it kind of made me grow up fast with not having him, so taking care of the household. I had to learn how to cook fast, all that, clean up the house, and all that for my mama while she was going to work. You know what I'm saying? Support my bird, you know what I'm saying, first, you know, more than anything than the homeboys. I had to support the household, and I had to learn how to make money fast, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it was with me.
So without that father figure in your house, do you feel like it pushed you to the streets? Do you feel like you could have been raised better with a father?
Well, we was raised excellent, because my mama did the best she could, you know what I'm saying? But she wasn't no man. Right. I mean, she was a one man.
So it's certain things that only a man can teach you.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? You know I'm sorry.
Right, go ahead.
So it's like, it pushed me to drugging and thugging fast. Like, it's like, well, I knew it was hope because I always believed in God, you feel me?
Right.
I always believed in the Lord, and you know what I'm saying, I grew up in that, you know what I'm saying? So it was always was molded in the scriptures. So I would never deny that, you feel me? But at the same time, it's like that demon side of me came out through them pills and I didn't need that to influence me, but that would coach me for what I was going through. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And what I was seeing in the streets. You know what I'm saying?
So since we mentioned scripture, give me one of your,
Oh man, I got plenty of them. It's like Psalms 100. You know what I'm saying? Psalms 23, Psalms 91. Like, I studied the Bible like all the way when I was in the joint. I studied like 5 times. I read it so much to when I went to sleep, I was reading in my sleep. My celly in the hole woke me up and told me like, damn, bro, you know you read in your sleep. Like, that's all I read. And I studied nothing but black literature, you know what I'm saying?
So when you say read in your sleep, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was meditating. You feel me?
Right.
I was meditating on the word. I didn't ever understand that, but I was reading so much, you know what I mean? It was real, you know what I mean?
So what lesson you think you learned like early on in life?
Well, early on in life, the lesson I learned early on in life is take care of your family. I learned that from my uncle. You know what I'm saying? My Uncle Nicky, OIP to my Uncle Nicky, you know what I'm saying? He died in 2022, September 11th. He helped kind of raised us and molded us. So, and then I paid attention to him when I was a young nigga, yeah, 2002. And when he, you know what I'm saying, when he stopped seeing us like that, I really became like a man, started learning whatever he taught us, especially me. I just took it and ran with it, and I started taking care of my people, you know what I'm saying? My people could tell you what it was. So, you know what I mean? I was there, you know what I mean, buying everybody shoes, you know what I'm saying, clothes, all my nieces and nephews. I had so many nieces and nephews, and I was doing this with a Burger King check. You feel me?
It's like with a Burger King check. What was that check like? That was like $7.50 back then. Huh?
Yeah, it was ski
something
as
like
hell.
that.
It was ski as hell.
You know, shout out to $15, man.
Yeah.
$15, $18, man. We weren't getting that, so
I'm making $21.50 right now.
Right.
Back in the day, I was making lesser than probably $7.50. I started off at $6.50, and then you know what I mean. My peoples was everything to me, and they can vouch for me, and I ain't gotta brag on it because I did it out of the kindness of my heart because I love my people.
So
yeah,
let's just jump into this, man.
I'm listening.
How you meet me and my brother, man?
I met you and your brother. All right, so your brother. All right, it was some 12th Park Cochran stuff going on back in the day. And back in the day, when you was coming up out of Kingdom House and 12th Park, because it's all the same thing to us. If you from the new house, people, it don't matter if you from the buildings. It was always the same thing. We gonna meet up regardless.
Right.
But we used to go back in the day on buses on Saturdays, and we used to go hoop against like Central West End, whatever sport it was, soccer. Go play Central West End. We go play Woes. We go play Cochran. They come to us. We ain't never go play to the Cochran. We ain't never go to the Cochran and play. The Cochran come to us all the time. And that's facts. We play Central West End, Marquette, Buddhas, Wold Center, sometimes Wellston, Gamble, you know, Tanny's. All them gyms back in the days, that's how everybody was raised. Like our generation got the last of that. So, you know what I mean? We used to go hoop, and we used to be trying to be the dominants. You know what I mean? Everybody try to be skillful. So when we first seen you and your brother, y'all used to come over. James and my shout out to Lil Dave and them. They stayed on Dillon back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Lil Johnny
James, all them. You know what I'm saying? I like your one cousin, the dark skin one. Yeah, the little thick one back in the day. Snake got on me for her one day. You know, he was in the house.
Tell me what that was about.
One day, like, all right, time that went on when we met your brother, and you know, she told me to come back.
Right.
Later on, because I was trying to, you know, do my thing, you know. And I seen Snake in the house. But first I was knocking on the door. And I seen her in there. I looked through the blinds because they blinds used to be always open. If anybody don't know where they stayed, Lil Paul and them moved in their house back in the day.
I'm going to just tell y'all, man, they stayed on 1212 Dillon Lane, man.
Most definitely.
That's where they was at.
Yeah. And whatchamacallit them moved in. Kadura and their mama and them moved in at the time at their house after a while, like in 05, 06. But before then, they stayed in there. So I knocked on the door and I looked through the blinds because they blinds should stay open.
So what year you think this was?
I think this was like 01, 02. You know what I'm saying? Right before, like about a couple of years after we moved out the hood. But I'm looking through the blinds, I see Lil Jib sitting on the couch. I'm like, shit, you know what I'm saying? First I knock on the door, boo, 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 because she told me to come back. So I'm looking through the blind and I see him. Like, man, why she ain't open the door? Then I knock on the door again, boo, 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 boo. And I look through the blinds and I look and I see Lil Jerry This before I found out the reputations with his hands and all this and all that. We just knew each other boxing. We was real close with each other. You know what I mean? Everybody was, but we used to be kicking it and everything. So I looked through and I heard Lil J be like, "Who is it?" I see him saying it. And I just walk off, you know. I'm like,
he come out the door. He like, hey.
Nah, he ain't never come out the door. So the next day, I seen your brother,
right?
And your brother like, I'm thinking he don't know that I did
that was you.
Yeah. So when we chilling and everything, we walking somewhere, cause your brother used to be like, "Hey, Master," before the old man, Master, cause my ears was big.
Shout out Master, man.
That's some people, some don't know.
That's what he used to call you, though. I remember that.
Hey, Master. I used to try to avoid him with that. Till one day he see me come out the house, I'm like, man, there go that nigga right there. And then he be like, and he still see me, he talking about, Master. I'm like, this dude is stupid, man. That's when y'all first started coming down there. So the next day, I seen him, and I'm like, damn, what's up, Lil Jim? He like, what's up, woo, woo, woo. And then we talking for a little while. It's just me and him. And we meet up with all the homeboys like we used to meet. Right. Before we meet up with him, before we catch up with him, he like, while we talking some deep stuff. Then he gonna bust out and talk about, yeah, nigga, I know you trying to fuck my cousin last
Come on, man.
I started busting out. I tried to deny it, but he was telling the truth, man. I'm like, yeah, you right, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was, bro. That was a long time ago, though, you know? Yeah, that was a long time ago, yeah. Before the snake, it was just Lil Jerry, you know what I mean?
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Just like reflecting on them moments, man, because I remember that, man. He used to be like, Master.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, man, this dude can say anything to anybody, man. It wasn't no filter, nothing to it, man.
Yeah, not nothing, man. We even fought, over you, man.
Right. So look, we gonna get into that, man. Yeah. Look, so speaking of that, so how you start like how shit really kick off between like the other side over there.
From the new houses to the Peabody.
That wasn't the new houses. That was the King Louis.
All right, so I used to be with so back in the day.
Like how did King Louis get his reputation?
I don't understand that. I still don't understand that now. You feel me?
I mean? Because
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I never claimed no fucking KN. I always represent.
Let me get to my. Give me a second. We better get that. So how did King Louis get his name, get his reputation, who was the guys over there, who was the people, what I mean? Like, who stayed over there?
All right, so look, though.
Like, was that, because people.
I don't understand it
Because a lot of people. Hold on, you hear me? Because a lot of people don't know.
I ain't going to say their name, they know who they is. But I used to hang with them when they stayed on Rucker.
Right.
One stayed on Rucker. Well, two of them stayed on Rucker Lane in the Peabodys.
Yeah.
One of them stayed on Peabody, on Shoto. You know who you is. I don't say too many names and stuff like that. Them dudes was my dudes at the time, back in the day. After the Race Squad, after, I started hanging with Brad and them, because they always had the Cash Money CDs, the No Limit CDs, had all the games and everything. And, we grew up poor, we ain't had nothing. So I'm like, damn, I had to, it wasn't just about that. It was like brotherhood too. So I used to be, let me see I used to be on the latest CD stuff I couldn't afford. So back in them times, nigga just, I always was loyal to who I used to be with. And that's just one thing about me, So anyway, make a long story short, before it was King Louis, motherfucking buildings was right there, from the 1600s to the 1500s. I didn't stay over there, but Brad and them stayed over. We used to be going up in the buildings and shit, in the B2 buildings. I remember they used to call something called the new buildings and shit across 12th and Park. All of that shit across 12th and Park. And I remember everybody that stayed over there, from Birdie and them, from Fan to Gutter and them, Burner and them, they all stayed over there. Dre, everybody stayed in the 1600s back in the day. Damn, most definitely like damn, before the line, on the side, it was the Liner Moore building behind, on the side of Peabody Elementary.
Yeah, I heard they had their own building.
They had their own building, but the white singers and the Chapmans, majority of the ones that I knew, they stayed in the...
I heard the Johnsons had their building.
Yeah, they was on Shoto. And matter of fact, like, you know what I'm saying, Bro and them, they stayed across the street from 12th Park, so I guess they felt like shit, you know what I mean? They was outcast and motherfuckers didn't like them. And they started repping the KL. Me, I never repped the motherfucking KL. They started claiming the KL. I'm from motherfucking Peabody, for real. You know what I'm saying? I'm claiming 14th. And I always did. I never claimed none of that shit. To make the, you know what I mean, to get the story out there, you know what I mean? I just was loyal to them dudes, you know what I'm saying, at the time. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I was just loyal to them. I was a young nigga, loyal, because whoever I fuck with at the time, you know what I mean? And I guess they started rapping that shit. But me, I guess everybody thought I was rapping that shit like them, but I wasn't.
So look, to dig in this shit, you know what I mean? Like, when that all started, that whole come up thing, you know.
Right.
How was that like? How did the beef even start between like
alright, so this what happened.
Cause I don't even remember.
I remember every motherfucking thing. So look, one day I guess I was going to the V, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We were staying on the south side when I'm still going to the V. When I went to the V, we moved from the Peabodys. Right. We moved to the south. So my living conditions on the south side was horrible. So I ended up dropping out, but I had to go to summer school in the 10th grade. Right. You know?
When you say horrible, what you mean? The people want to know what you mean.
The housing, like the vacant housing was in. It was snowing in the house. You know, I almost died in that house and shit. I had a stomach ulcer and shit. My brother had saved me, called 911. I had passed out and shit.
So,
you know
so who was your brother?
Lotto, you know me. Everybody know him as Lotto McGroovy and everything. I ain't gonna say his real name like we call him, but y'all gonna know him as Lotto. Y'all don't want y'all to call him the name we named what I gave him.
Shout out that nigga Lotto.
Yeah, I gave him that name when we was little. So. But I didn't give him Lotto. He came up with Lotto in 2006 before Snake died. You know what I'm saying? I remember like it was yesterday. Yeah, but he had many names before then. But Lotto was significant for him. And he been doing this shit since we was like kids. He first started rapping, we was on Castle Lane. And he bust out a rap. You know,
I remember he took that little snake talk, you heard me? Yeah. And took it to started rapping like that, you heard me? Because you know how Snake used to be like, you heard me, Snake.
Yeah, he started that.
You heard me? Like hold the end of the words and shit.
Hey, and I saw the interview with you when you was talking about your brother with that gun choice. Nigga, I got locked up with Snake when they put that gun on him. That second thumper. Not that first one, but that second thumper. Yeah. It was me and my cuz. And we was on Dillon, on the back of Dillon. And Snake and them hopped the gate. Yeah, Snake and them hopped the gate. And I got caught up off a trespass, me and my cousin, they found the gun in the wood chips. And I heard them say, because Snake had a great tank top on. This back in the day. You know what I'm saying? If you were from the Peabodys for real, you would know. Right. But this back in the day, this how loyal I was. You know what I'm saying?
They say, goddamn, motherfucker put the gun up. We ain't gonna say no names, you know.
I don't know. That's probably the first one. But the second one, the police found the gun in the wood chips. I know who gun it was for real. But I ain't gonna say no name because we don't rock like that.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? You know? But at the same time, he had a right not to admit to it. You feel me? Because I heard the police say, go get that dude in that gray tank top. And I wanted to tell brother go run, but at the time, I was being a smart ass with the police, and the police had need me in my back, and they was kind of putting their hands on me because I used to have a smart attitude. You can ask my cuz that if he can remember.
Right.
Yeah, you can ask him if he can remember. And they told me and him to go, you know what I mean? They told me and him basically like, man, they said something about your brother, like, go get that dude to get that gray tank top. Go get him, the dude that's, he was chilling on Tyrone in their front.
Right.
And
so it was, what playground it was at? It was on the one on top of Dillon Lane,
it was right behind, on top of Dillon Lane, right behind Craig and them house, right there.
In between, is that council?
No, that's Dillon and Kilty. It happened on Dillon and Kilty. They call it, when we got older, they started calling that shit K-Block. Before I went to prison. At the time, you know what I'm saying, them niggas hopped the gate. We seen the police coming. And Snake like, oh, we finna hop the gate. It used to be a gate divided back. It still was there, but they been two down the lane.
Hey, look, speaking of this gate, I ain't mean to cut you out. I don't understand, like, how these niggas was running, jumping over these gates.
They didn't
like
run.
These niggas was jumping over these gates. If you go stand next to these gates today, you'll look at them and you won't understand how the fuck they was jumping over these gates.
I had to jump over that bitch a couple of times, you know.
You remember, no hands, just jumping over.
But you know, I was kind of slow. I had to use my hands, take my time, hop the gate, run and shit. Because I remember back in the day, they used to be open. We used to cut through them when we was kids. It was never like that. They started closing them because when I was running from the police back in 07 down there, everybody thought that was Lil Paul, that was me.
Right.
And I ended up getting whooped by the police and shit behind Lil Bill and them grandma's house. You know what I mean? R.I.P. to their grandma and everything. Shout out Lil Bill and them, free Lil Bill and all that.
So was that the time the police threw the flashlight at motherfucker?
Yeah, they hit me, whooped me with the Billy Club. That's after your brother died. They whooped me with the Billy Club and they took me downtown and beat me some more. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's when I had that work on me and shit. A lot of people didn't know I had that work on me, but I ended up, you know what I'm saying, because I was trying to hustle at the time, trying to get some money.
So how you end up going to jail? What's the story behind that?
Well, you know, I ain't gonna say too many names. Y'all know who y'all is. But I want to finish off with your brother, you know what I'm saying? But first, before we get into that, I
go ahead,
with your brother, how loyal y'all was to your brother. So the police put the gun on your brother, right? Boom. All three of us go to jail. Me, McCuz, Snake. Me and McCuz get a trespass choice. Most definitely me and McCuz is solid. We ain't never do no shoot showing, none of that fuck shit. And we believe in keeping it real, because he went in, and when he came out, I went in. So, you know what I mean, most definitely. But we ain't gonna get into too much of that. But when we went down there, they put the gun on Snake because they didn't like Lil Jerry. They hated him. They hated all of us, but they did not like Lil Jerry.
They did not like him.
So Lil Jerry ended up getting bonded out by TJ and them. TJ and Murray. Shout out to them,
man. They used to come through with the bird hand every time. It wasn't no time that he went down that they didn't come. Goddamn me. Hit the hand. So shout out to them, man, for being real, you know.
Most definitely. At that time, he told me who he was gonna call. They separated me and Lil Jerry, and they separated. Me and Lil Jerry was together, and they separated McCuz. So me and Lil Jerry, we was on the other side where it really rained down AC, where the TV used to be in the Justice Center on the second floor. So Lil Jerry was like, man, when you go home, bruh, give me your T-shirt. I'm like, bet. You know what I'm saying? But he ended up getting his T-shirt because he got locked up in the tank top. So he ended up getting his T-shirt from somebody else. So he's like, man, I'm going to call woo woo woo. So when he bonded out ASAP. So he called me and I talked to him. He said, look, bro, when I go to court, I want you to testify against the police for me that they threw this gun on me. And I was willing to do that. And I was showing up. You know what I'm saying? Your mama and them, that's when I stayed in Columbus Square back in the day. And I was showing up and I went to court. He had Brandon Stokely. I remember his lawyer.
David Stokely.
He had David Stokely at the time.
I think he ended up dying or whatever.
Damn, straight up. I ain't know that.
He was good, man. He was real good.
What's up, y'all? I'm that old man, you know, coming from the Peabody projects and everything, you know. Just did 10 years, you know what I mean? But I rehabilitated myself, got my mind right, became a grown man. A lot of people know me as an old man, but I'm a new man now. So, you know what I'm saying? Reach one to teach one, you know. So, you know what I mean? There's a lot of dudes in prison trying to rehabilitate themselves. They don't praise the glorifying things that they do on the streets. You know what I mean? Don't forget about your people. Always reach back out to them. Make sure they head on straight because they need y'all. You know, all my dudes, level 5, level 2, level 1 is coming home, and a lot of dudes is never coming home. I feel y'all, you know, from everybody eating meal loaves, trying to study in the hole. All those things, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm praying for y'all. Y'all stay strong even on holidays. You can go on the main line, you know? So, you know what I mean? We just thank God for everything. You know what I'm saying? All these dudes that's on the streets living that life and glorifying that life. I ain't gonna say it's really the way to go. And I can't say the streets because I know how the streets is. But at the same time, if I can reach the mass of the streets, I'm gonna tell y'all this. You know, just know what comes with it. And when the times get hard and it's time to go face the prosecutor and the judge and all that, you gotta stay firm. Don't fold, don't bend, don't fold, you know what I mean? I took them all the way to trial, you know what I mean? Had a mistrial, and you know what I mean? I'm blessed to come home. That's it, that's that, you know?